Hi, my name is Vanessa and I'm presenting on Ericksons stages of psychosocial development. This was a theory that was founded in 1950s by a psychologist named Erickson. So it includes different influences of social dynamics as well as psychosocial development across the lifespan. Erickson developed 8 different stages to basically identify different stages that we go throughout the lifespan from birth to late adulthood. Okay, these human development stages are influenced by biological, psychological, and social factors. Okay, we're gonna get into the different stages and what each one signifies. So the first one is gonna be trust versus mistrust. Then autonomy versus shame and doubt. Initiative versus guilt. Industry versus inferiority. Identity versus role confusion. Then it's intimacy versus isolation. Generativity versus stagnation. And then integrity versus despair. Please forgive my handwriting or even spelling. I'm trying to go fast so we can get through a lot of it, okay? So these 8 stages start from infancy to late adulthood, and this increases in complexity. Regarding like developmental stages, kind of stacks on each other, okay? So as far as this goes, the trust versus mistrust is back starting in infancy, okay? So this is infancy, and that's from 0 to 23 months. Okay, and these are important to know because as someone advances in age throughout the lifespan, subsequently they will be transitioning through the different stages if there's no significant barriers impacting their ability to transition. This is autonomy versus shame and doubt is between 2 to 4 years old. Initiative versus guilt is preschool age, that's 4 to 5 years. Industry versus inferiority is a school age, and that's going to be between 5 and 12 years old. Adolescence is that identity versus role confusion. Okay, that's going to be 13 to 19 years old. The intimacy versus isolation, that is early adulthood, and that's going to be between 20 and 39 years old. Adulthood is going to be between 40 and 64 years old. And then maturity is going to be between 65 and death. Okay, so those are the years as far as ages that one would expect to progress through the different stages, okay? And then as far as some words that you can kind of associate the different stages with, maybe a key word that the person should experience or should master that skill and developmental process throughout the different stages. The first one is going to be hope. okay? The second one for autonomy versus shame and doubt is will. And this is what they are achieving to accomplish and master in these stages. Then we have purpose, competence, fidelity, love, care, and ultimately wisdom with old age or older age. Okay, so these different processes that we go through in life, like I said before, if nothing substantial occurs within that age range in that person's life, the goal is for us to resolve any conflicts and, you know, go through the developmental stages for psychosocial emotional maturity, okay? So this first one here, the trust versus mistrust, you can associate that with questions like, can I trust the world? So think of a baby, a child, depending on a parent, for food, okay? If that doesn't go well, abandonment can also happen in that stage. So these will also alter that person's view on the world, okay? Autonomy versus shame, is it okay to be me? Okay, they're kind of self-exploring who they are, what their abilities are. So some tasks related with autonomy is going to be toilet training, clothing self, those basic tasks. As far as initiative versus guilt, is it okay for me to do, move, and act? Kind of those social norms and expectations. Exploring and using tools, making art, okay? As far as industry versus inferiority, can I make it in the world of people and things? So kind of just this bigger view on what the world is and how they're succeeding in it. And that can be controlled by social norms, school, sports, and so forth. Identity versus role confusion. Who am I? Who can I be? So social relationships, okay? Intimacy, can I love? Can I find love? Is love for me? Developing those romantic connections. And then generativity, excuse me, and versus stagnation. Can I make my life count? Okay, so that's that adulthood, 40 to 64, working and parenthood, that balance, work-life balance. And then in the maturity age of older adult, wisdom, is it okay to have been me? And it's more of a reflection on their life. Now, if someone goes to reflect on their life at that point, and any of these previous stages were not successfully met or resolved, or there's lingering conflicts, in this older year, 65 to death, integrity versus despair, someone can question, you know, their life and to the capacity that they lived, if they feel anything was unresolved, and if they feel a sense of fulfillment, okay? So it's really important for us to progress through these stages and not have any unresolved conflict or delayed developmental, social, and emotional areas, depending, you know, how that person lived their life. So in best case scenarios, you can progress through these stages and then in the later years feel a sense of fulfillment.